Hello, welcome back to an episode of HBM. And today, we're gonna be doing some stuff. Last time we left off with the solar boiler tower. It's too cold. How unfortunate. Well, that will be fine. So this is gonna be low pressure steam. This is going to be water. What we need to make today is the condenser and a couple more of those panels. As you see, we only have 12, and what we need to get started is 15. For the condenser, we're looking at a steam condenser, and this is going to be 3 copper, 4 iron, and 4 steel, which shouldn't be too difficult to make. In fact, we should have all of that already. I'm gonna get started making the iron plates at the burner press. And here we have this going on. Do I have my screwdriver with me? I do not believe I do. As you can see, we're producing aluminum, but I don't want to be producing aluminum right now. I want to be, well, that's sodium now. What's left is sodium. Oops. Well, I'm just gonna swap that out real quick so I can get my stuff going. So... oh, we're just gonna have to make the sodium then. Just gonna have to. But it's gonna be a little unfortunate because it's gonna mean I'm gonna need to re-smelt some copper. Now this is hydro-explosive, so if you throw this in water, what should happen is an explosion. Let's go ahead and demonstrate that. So here I have a sodium ingot, and if I throw this in the water... huh, that's odd. It used to explode. Though I suppose maybe the ingot's coated in some kind of oil or something to prevent an explosion, so... I'm gonna put in an extra piece of copper because I know it's gonna produce a copper, actually. Once we hit the last one, I'm gonna switch out the, let's put in 2 more pieces of copper then. So I'm stupid. What I really need to make this go faster is a hopper. And that's what I'm about to make right now. This way, I'm pretty much just gonna have to let that thing sit there and do its stuff. Well, I don't know if I should make the hopper for this, because I just put in the wrong ingredients anyway. Once we hit all the sodiums out, like the last sodium, I'm gonna be able to just knock it out with a pickaxe, and then it should be good to go. Alright, let's see how it's doing. We should just have, yes, 1 more sodium ingot. So when I pull that last one out of the thing, instead I'm gonna slap it with a pickaxe to mine it up. And that should do the trick to get us that done. Alright, so we're gonna mine this now that it's finished casting out. We're gonna do this and place in this. And that's going to allow it to make... what, does it take 4 copper? Oh, that's fine, I will fix it. Do 3 more copper. It should only take 3 copper to make a plate. Right? Yes, it does. So, had no idea what was going on there, but it's fine. Alright, we got 1 thing left to get, and that is steel. But thankfully, it's not hard to get steel. In fact, it's really easy right now. Because all I need is lignite coke, which I should have some somewhere, in storage, or here. Never mind. But I just need lignite coke and an iron ore, which I guess all of my lignite coke must be in one of these. Or it's in this, which it is. So for this, you'll just put your lignite coke right into here, and then put in a piece of iron in there. Here's where I put lava usually, so that way it's gonna last a while. I use lava for all of my machines since it's going to power them for a superior amount of time, except for this one apparently I was using coal coke. And with all of this done, all I have to do is put it all together. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Just gotta do this and this. So this should just work for getting our steam back to water. And from there, all I should need is 1 final thing, and that's those, which is going to be a little harder to get. Okay, so to process aluminum, we're going to put them into... we're going to get lava first. Alright, so I'm gonna just put the lava into the furnace. No, not like that, but like that. And that is all of what we need done. So now I can do this. And this has 1,000 seconds as well. So they're both gonna be cooking up those. And to make this process a little easier on ourselves, we're gonna start using hoppers, like I mentioned earlier. And to do that, we're just gonna go ahead and set this in. And like so, I now have a hopper, which will dispose of all of the items that I don't really need to have going through there. So, and eventually we're gonna take this and we're gonna upgrade it again with a new setup, specifically to destroy all the slag it produces once we get to hematite processing. I do have hematite available, so we're gonna just put this into here and take all that out. And we're ready to go for the next phase of the project, which we should need, if I'm remembered correctly, we still need a few copper pipes. We just need one more. Something I'm trying with this video is I'm actually going to try to make it a lot easier to edit by doing 90% of the cuts in the actual thing, so I don't have to do them, you know, when I'm editing. It could be a bit annoying though, because when I go to edit it, I'm going to need to have that set up correctly, and I'm just waiting on the aluminum now. And the sodium is what's going through here first, apparently. That's really unfortunate. Awesome, we only need 3 of these, and maybe a little bit more, honestly. But we also need the steel again, so mirror. Check this out, we got a mirror. Oh, there's a what? That's probably for some nuclear physics stuff, which I'm not going to explain right now. But let's go ahead and start working on this. Put this into here. We're going to go ahead and put our schist in. And then from there, we'll process the steel. Do I have steel beams available? Yes, I do. I have a few of them. So let's get this started. No, we're not making bread plates. Bread plates would be interesting, but that's... I would never expect that from HBM. Bread plates. What point would that even serve? Bread-tonium armor? Bread neutronium. Heliostatic mirror. We just need one more set of these guys. And that should do the trick. And everything will be done from there. And then all I have to do is celebrate because, yeah, I finished. Amazing project. 2 on each side should do the trick. And then, since we have extra, put an extra one on the ends. And now all I do is I take this and everything will link onto that. Check it out. Which should power the steam engine. Which it is. It has steam. But we need a Steam ID. Thankfully I have that. So that should be all the way from end to end steam. Now we got power production going. And that should power these guys. We're gonna need batteries though. Or capacitors, whichever one you prefer. So for a capacitor, you need a capacitor bank, which is made with insulators and some other stuff. To get that, we're gonna need to do some things that I wanna do first. First thing I want to take care of as far as that goes is getting some string and making an actual mask, since I'm probably going to need this. Also, I kind of want to get the actual Minecraft grade copper, so let's go ahead and get started making some of that. Since I need a bit of that anyway for other stuff later on, let's make just a bit of it. And then as far as the rest of this goes, it should be pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. We're just going to need string, wool, and we should be able to make quite a few insulators and things. But to get started, I want to make cloth, which I don't remember exactly how to make, but I think it's made like this. Or not. Okay, maybe that's not how you make cloth. I can't remember how you do, so I couldn't tell you. Unless I just gotta do this. Cloth. Look at this. I have that available. So that's... Oh, that's really easy. And that makes enough anyway. We're gonna do some magic with this cloth to make it immune to stupidness. Boom. Trench mask. And we're set to go. Now these things have practically infinite durability. It will last forever. Like, legitimately forever. So, as long as you need that thing for, it will do the trick. Alright, we're gonna get started with the next thing I wanted to do, which is gonna be getting the actual stuff. Those. We need to make capacitors, right? So capacitors are actually not complicated to make. Well, at least the first tier of capacitors isn't. It's not going to require any materials that you need extra machines for. You should be able to make it at this stage of the game. The only thing that's really hard about it is the steel. But you should be able to get the steel pretty easily by this stage of the game. Again, so it shouldn't be a problem to make these. But it might be for some people because, I don't know. To be honest, you should go with the gold ones. But the gold ones require polymer, and the only way you can get that is from the shredder, which I don't have yet. But we'll see what the shredder requires, just because it is quite an important machine. Yes, it requires motors and stuff like that. We'll make it eventually, just not right now. Get started on 5 of these crafting, and then all that's left to do is steel plates. Take these. We need wood, don't we? Because this is just the basic level capacitor, so it shouldn't... It should just be... Capacitor. It should just be wood on the bottom, right? Yes, it is. Wood, a block of this. Casually forgetting how to craft blocks. Casually forgetting how to craft blocks. Nice. Well, this will allow us to supply energy into everything else. And all I need to do to set this up is quite simply find a spot that works to place this in that's not going to convolute the system too much. And then I'll have our first capacitor set up, which should just go something like this. No, because it needs to be facing this way. And then like that, and that will provide us 1 million HE of storage. So, not the best, but still it is better than nothing, honestly, and that's all that matters. And then we can have a second capacitor off of this, or more capacitors off this later, but for now, we're gonna just have to do with that as is. It doesn't really matter that much, because really what it's used as a diode, so it can block electricity going backwards and keep it going forwards while simultaneously also allowing you to power your stuff and store energy. So it's kind of a diode multi-purpose little tool. You can use these little ones, like it's also a good energy regulation device, because this can only store so much and it can only take in so much at a time, versus the higher level ones, they increase more. So that's how that works.